It's Wednesday, June 25th. In the headlines, National Housing Trust urges contributors to capitalize on early rollout of new housing policy measures. Education Ministry reiterates guidelines for student transfers following PEP placement. And MJS Industrial and Tech Park officially opens in Spanish Town. In business news, corporate results are out. Regionally, Antigua and Barbuda takes first steps towards ethical AI. And in sports, government moves to develop national strategy to support and retain Jamaican athletes. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Jamaicans who contribute to the National Housing Trust, NHT, are being encouraged to take full advantage of newly introduced policy changes designed to improve access to affordable housing across the island. The updated policies include reduced service charges, higher loan limits for single and joint applicants, and expanded features under the Smart Energy Loan Facility. NHT's Assistant General Manager for Corporate Communications and Public Affairs, Dwayne Burbick, explains further on a Jamaica Information Service think tank episode.
To access a home grant, you had to be earning minimum wage was one of the benchmarks we used. But as part of broadening the pool of individuals who can qualify for that grant and access that grant in their home ownership journey, we've adjusted that ceiling to qualify for the grant to contributors who are earning $30,000 per week or less. And that aligns with the NHT's 0% income band.
The changes are intended to benefit a wide cross-section of contributors, including prospective homeowners, home improvers, builders, and property buyers. According to Mr. Burbick, the early implementation of the new policies was made possible by a combination of institutional readiness, feedback from contributors, and noticeable shifts in the local housing market. Updated eligibility letters and revised loan amounts have already been issued, allowing contributors to proceed with their housing plans more swiftly.
Once you've been constructing for a period of 2 years, you've halted construction for a period of 2 years or more, you've maximized your initial NHT loan amount. The NHT will do one of two things. Initially, the NHT will consider you for a new loan up to the new NHT Bill on Own Land loan ceiling of $11 million. So the difference between what you previously received from the NHT and this new loan ceiling of $11 million, you can now access as an additional loan to complete the construction on your unit. Where you have been properly assessed and we've determined that the fiscal space isn't there to take on a new loan, whether it's based off age, whether it's based off just the current salary that you have, the NHT will consider offering you a grant.
Contributors seeking more information about the updated loan offerings can visit the NHT website at www.nht.gov.jm or contact Customer Service Center at 876-929-6560. That's 876-929-6500. The Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information is reminding parents that student transfers between schools are only permitted under exceptional circumstances. Students placed via the primary exit profile are expected to remain at their assigned schools unless there is a valid reason for transfer. The statement from the ministry notes transfer procedures. They include securing acceptance letters from the desired school, obtain a release letter from the originally assigned school. Both letters must include the student's full name and student registration number, the SRN, found on the PEP student report. Submit a formal written request to the Ministry's Permanent Secretary, Dr. Kasana Troop, along with both letters and the SRN. Submit the completed application to the relevant regional office. Once approved, the Ministry will issue confirmation letters to both schools within 1 week. Parents are advised to follow all steps carefully. For help, they can contact the regional office or visit the Ministry's website. It was once a shuttered textile mill, but today it's a symbol of transformation. Spanish Town is now home to Jamaica's largest special economic zone, as the Muson Group and Michael Subrati officially opened the MJS Industrial and Technology Park. The $50 million investment promises thousands of jobs and a bold new chapter for the community. Danita Rodney was there, and she filed this report.
Officials say the development is poised to play a key role in vitalizing Spanish Town and the surrounding communities while setting a benchmark for sustainable development across Jamaica.
This isn't just expansion, it's a statement, a bold vote of confidence in the future of Spanish Town. Trust me, go buy their stock. You'll be investing in more than just a company, you'll be investing in a vision that's rising fast.
Speaking during his keynote address, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness made it clear Jamaica's economic future cannot rest on services alone and called for a revival of the nation's manufacturing base, saying it's time to spark new life into old infrastructure and build a multi-plank economy.
So we took a decision as a government that our economy cannot develop on one plank. We've done well in the services, tourism, and BPOs, but logistics is another plank, and whenever I speak about logistics, I must acknowledge Tony, because he was a strong advocate for logistics. But we must get back into manufacturing. Jamaica must resuscitate its manufacturing base.
Prime Minister Holness says gang violence has stifled Spanish Town's economic growth for decades, warning that crime deters investment and opportunity. He believes restoring peace could transform the area into a hub for business and creativity.
I say to you today, if we achieve peace in Spanish Town, there would be a rushing sound of investors into this place. Why? Because you have a population that is largely well-trained. You already have basic infrastructure in place. And you have some of the most creative people in and around this area.
He has pledged to restore peace in Jamaica, vowing that the violent actions of a few will not block the progress of millions.
And we will not relent in ensuring that those less than 1,000 people prevent the 3 million people who either are Jamaicans or people working and living here achieve their dreams and aspirations for self-fulfillment. I cannot be clearer about our strategy. Jamaica will attain peace as we have had peace in our country up to the 1960s, when our murder rate was the equivalent of that of the United States, less than 3 per 100,000. we will get back to that, and we will get back to that within this decade.
Positioned as a catalyst for local and national progress, the MJS Industrial and Technology Park represents a major step forward in Jamaica's economic modernization efforts. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I am Denita Rodney.
The Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA, is advising livestock farmers to take protective measures during the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season, which began on June 1. Senior livestock specialist Maxine Brown emphasizes that farmers should prioritize the safety and identification of their animals by tagging or photographing them, documenting key information, especially for vulnerable or prized animals, and ensuring data is backed up. Farmers are encouraged to keep first aid kits and essential medications on hand, ensure animal housing is secure and storm resistant, move animals to higher ground if flooding is expected, be prepared to release animals so they can swim to safety if necessary, secure roofs with hurricane straps, and cover open structures like poultry mesh with tarpaulin. Additional recommendations include stockpiling at least a week's supply of livestock feed and clean water, protecting feed from moisture and rodents, ensuring generators are operational, safeguarding essential tools used in livestock care. Farmers should also monitor vulnerable animals, such as the young or pregnant, both during and after the storm, watching for issues like hoof rot from prolonged water exposure. Farmers can contact their local RADA office for help or call 1-888-ASK-RADA. That's 1-888-275-7232. Time now for the Business Report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the stories shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. Brian Saunders, Senior General Manager for Construction and Development at the NHT, announced that the National Housing Trust will be launching the Small Development Partnership Program next month. The goal is to help landholders with small plots in urban areas to build new and affordable housing solutions. The target group are landholders, particularly those in urban areas whose properties already have light, water, and sewage systems to offer these lands for development. Saunders adds that the NHT will provide the technical and financial assistance as well as the marketing support needed to transform the property into affordable housing solutions. In corporate news, companies have released their financial results. Financial results of listed companies are out. Edufocal Limited, which trades as Learn, unaudited financials for the first quarter ending March 31, 2025 reports 3-month net loss of $1.34 million. Then, the Consolidated Bakeries Jamaica, which trades as Purity, unaudited financials for the first quarter ending March 31, 2025 reports 3 months net profit of $20.06 million. For the trading period ending June 24, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Online education platform One-on-One Educational Services Limited with 3,415,286 units traded, representing 15.22% of market sales volume. Microfinance lender Dollar Financial Services Limited with 3,039,954 units traded, representing 13.55% of market sales volume. Toll road operator Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited with 2,227,780 units traded, representing 0.93% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On June 24, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $57.36 million purchased and US $62.34 million sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned $1.81 per dollar, selling the US at $161.13 and buying the US at $159.32. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders $1.02 per transaction, with selling at $115.97 and buying at $116.99. The British pound yielded Forex traders $1.35 in profit, with selling at $217.95 and buying at $216.60. For our credit report tip of the day, improving your credit unlocks financing opportunities without the need for collateral, giving you the freedom to rebuild, invest, and grow on your terms. Take charge now and let your credit score be the key that opens the door to your next chapter. So here's some ideas. If you're starting a new business venture, a strong credit score can help you secure business financing without pledging personal or business assets. You can also refinance at better rates and terms, often without needing to offer collateral if your credit has improved. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step toward your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, experts say Antigua and Barbuda is making the first strides towards the ethical adoption of artificial intelligence. The assertion was made during the launch of a major assessment report on the closing day of the University of the West Indies Five Islands Campus' second annual Artificial Intelligence Conference. Philana Johnson reports.
The entire study would have included about 100 persons to get feedback from both government, private sector.
The main statistics from the Ethics in AI Readiness Assessment Report being presented in front of hundreds of delegates at the University of the West Indies Five Islands campus. The report is a collaboration between Antigua and Barbuda and the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. The project identifies the country's gaps, including data availability issues, shortage of skilled workforce, and limited public awareness and engagement. Information and Communication Technologies Minister, Honorable Melford Nicholas, says this initiative determines what needs to be addressed. Minister Nicholas adds, this will draw him closer to the artificial intelligence goals set by the Prime Minister.
He would have indicated that he expects that AI to become a veritable part of the way we deliver education, of the way we deliver our health services, and of course, the very way we interact with each other in the government. The essence of AI is to have good data. And the AI certainly is not going to be the panacea for everything without basic core good data to be able to inform this platform and us having a purpose.
UNESCO Caribbean Director for Communication and Information, Dr. Paul Hector, says this marks a milestone for Antigua and Barbuda as the country is now in the early stages of AI adoption.
It sends a message to the entire Caribbean region and the world. We are preparing not only to adopt AI, but to shape it ethically, strategically, and inclusively.
He also points out some areas that will ensure the country is ethically, technically, and socially sound in relation to artificial intelligence.
It also identifies and underlines the need for a national AI strategy, a dedicated AI governance unit, and AI ethics education.
Philana Johnson, ABS News.
St. Lucia's Prime Minister, Philip J. Pierre, has reiterated a robust commitment to regional unity, pushing back against recent suggestions from opposition leader Alan Chastanet that the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS, should consider not ruling out the possibility of withdrawing from the Caribbean Community, CARICOM. More details in this report.
Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre firmly rejected suggestions that OECS member states should consider parting ways with CARICOM, a hypothetical posited by opposition leader Alain Chasny. Speaking at pre-cabinet press briefing, Pierre underscored the critical importance of regional unity for the collective strength and economic future of the Caribbean.
So imagine if we had the tenacity to pull out of CARICOM and renegotiate bilateral agreements with Jamaica, bilaterals with Trinidad, bilaterals with Guyana, and bilaterals with Barbados. Would we be better off? I'm not saying we do it, but sometimes we have to ask ourselves that question.
While declining to directly comment on the opposition leader's specific remarks, Prime Minister Pierre emphasized the necessity of regional cohesion.
These remarks have been well ventilated. The last analysis came from the Gleaner newspaper. You should have a read. So I prefer not to comment on what the leader of opposition says. I prefer not to comment. I heard the leader of the opposition yesterday at a meeting, and I could not believe I was hearing what I heard. But that's for another show. What I can tell you is that the region must get together. We have to forge that unity. The people must drive it. And I'm calling the young people to drive it. They have to drive that unity. We cannot go in our separate ways. What has St. Lucia got in itself, by itself, in the world? We have to understand that there is common ground.
Addressing frustrations with the slow pace of free movement within the region, Pierre acknowledged existing insularities, but maintained that progress, though incremental, is being made. He highlighted that most countries have endorsed the protocol for free movement of people, despite ongoing challenges. A member of the press corps asked the Prime Minister about the delays in meeting the target date for the free movement of people within CARICOM.
I can't disagree with you, but I surely will not ask the OECS to leave CARICOM. What I'm saying is this, I'll give an example. The OECS, there is free movement, right? But still for that, sometimes you have to give a passport. I'm the Prime Minister. I travel to Antigua, I have to give my passport. They have to take it, they have to stamp it. I'm the Prime Minister. When I go, they say they have to identify me. You understand? So there's a lot of insularity that still exists. So it's going to be the people who have to demand from the politicians. The people are the ones who say, listen to me, that must stop. If you allow politicians to lead as far as that's concerned, each of us have our own, and let's make no bones about it, the opposition too. Each of us wants to have our own, we think that our policies are the best, etc. But the OECS has made tremendous strides. On the 1st of June, the protocol for the free movement of people, most countries have endorsed it. Some of them have 3 years, some of them have 7 years. But you see, you have to fight the insularity. A lot of people think that, they'll come and take our jobs. That's not true. But as history and elections have consequences. So if history now, what's happening in the US, what's happening with the visa for international students, we may be forced to go to UE. So history, by a strange convergence of situations, might make it possible for us to look into ourselves.
Pierre made it clear that he is not under any illusion about the hurdles, but firmly believes in the integration movement.
I agree with you, the cynicism is there. It has been there from the Federation. One from it is nothing, right? One from it is not what it was? One from 10 is not. Right. From that time, you understand, there's still the concept of big island, small island, MDCs, LDCs, so it's a long process. But I think the young people are the ones who will drive this process together. But you're very correct. The process has been slow, and frustrations sometimes come in, not without cause. But you're very correct, but I think we're taking incremental, and the OECS at making the incremental step.
The Prime Minister concluded that fragmented approaches would significantly weaken the negotiating power and economic prospects of individual OECS nations. Solange Alfred, HTS News Force.
In sports, plans are in place to convene key stakeholders to develop a comprehensive national strategy aimed at supporting and retaining Jamaican athletes. Speaking in the House of Representatives during her 2025-2026 sectoral debate on Tuesday, Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport Olivia Grange made the announcement in response to growing concerns over the number of Jamaican athletes switching national allegiance.
So, as Prime Minister said last night, he has asked me to meet with stakeholders, including athletes, sport federations, and the private sector, to discuss and develop a new framework for elite development and retention. And I will convene the meeting soon. In the meantime, I urge us to remain calm and respectful of the athletes who are reported to have or are contemplating a transfer of allegiance.
The strategy will also emphasize career transition services for athletes post-competition, long-term career planning, broader financial and health coverage, and increased incentives for national representation, particularly targeting high-performance athletes.
Athletes, like professionals in any field, must weigh their opportunities, resources, and long-term viability. This is not to say we are comfortable losing our talent. Quite the opposite. These developments should serve as a clarion call to strengthen our national athlete support systems, not just at the elite level, but through grassroots and transition programs that secure their careers before, during, and after competition. And we are on that path.
The minister was responding to recent decisions by several Jamaican athletes to switch national allegiance, with some now set to represent countries such as Turkey at international events, including the 2028 Olympic Games. Before we end the newscast, we have a special announcement. Highlights of the historic visit to Jamaica by Nelson Mandela in 1991 will be shown at the next PBCJ watch party at the Public Broadcasting Corporation of Jamaica on Saturday, June 28 at 6 p.m. in the studio at 5 South Odeon Avenue.
Do you remember where you were and what you were doing when Nelson Mandela visited Jamaica in 1991? What a momentous occasion. Well, PBCJ, the People's Station, invites you to join us for the next PBCJ Watch Party, Saturday, June 28, from 6 to 9:30 p.m. at PBCJ, 5 to 9 South Odeon Avenue, Halfway Tree, where we will show Mandela in Jamaica, highlights of the visit by Nelson and Winnie Mandela in 1991. Titus in Town, episodes and scenes of the hilarious drama series starring Glenn Campbell and featuring Clive Uzzle Anderson, Rosemary Murray, Owen Blacker Ellis, Winston Bello Bell, and Claudette Pius. And Mirrors in Paradise, snippets of an upcoming local drama series produced by Barry Vision Film Productions for PBCJ, which hits your screens in July. Join us for unbridled laughter and kin-teeting while you watch some amazing local talent. Trust me, it'll go nice, it'll go epic, it'll go sweet. PBCJ Watch Party, Saturday, June 28, and 6 o'clock means 6 o'clock.
And that's it for the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.